We're live, we're live.
Are we live?
Say hi.
Can we rotate?
We're really live?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay. Do you want to rotate it or not?
Mm-hmm.
It's the first time doing this, guys.
Yeah, gotta work out the
Well,
kinks.
Thank you so much for joining us. We are live from Hooper Island Lighthouse. It's the Lighthouse Centers, DLC.
Here, let me give you my phone so you can read chat.
All right, I'm gonna read chat. Okay. First of all,
Set this.
do some questions. Hi from Germany. Are you planning on putting historic optics back into the lighthouse rather than modern equipment if possible? Well, the problem is with that, we would love to do that. First of all, we're not in charge of the light. That's the Coast Guard. So we could put different things in the lighthouse as long as we don't interfere with what they're doing. Now, the original optics in the lighthouse, referring to the light, would be a Fresnel lens. And the Fresnel lenses, the original ones from the turn of the century, are worth millions of dollars. So we we don't have millions of dollars. Tom's trying to set the camera somewhere. So if we could, we would love to do that. But actually, the light here at Hooper Island, I believe, was stolen in the 1970s because it's worth so much and it's missing. So we would love to put original optics back in, but we can't afford it, and they got stolen. So great question, though, and hello, and thank you for following. Thank you for following from Germany, Deutschland, and a boat just showed up. And some friends. Yeah, some people are fishing for the show. All right, more questions, Thomas?
Let's show,
Type in my.
see over
Okay, cool.
some people over
Hello. We're live on YouTube. Okay, they don't have much to say. All right, read a question. These people want they want answers.
there. How far is the current restoration going?
It is coming along. Our goals right now are to make the lighthouse safe and accessible, and to make it here for multiple days. Because the problem with restoring a lighthouse is everything takes so much time. It's so time consuming to get to the marina, to get out here. Either we get a ride and get dropped off so we don't have to worry about a boat tied off to the lighthouse, or else you can tie your boat to the lighthouse and worry about wind and waves and storms and things. So what we're doing right now is it's a house, and we are making it livable at the same time that we're starting the restoration.
Also safe for other people to, come out. It has to be safe to get people up here so we can bring out specific contractors, some woodwork, all the individual things that we're going to need. It needs to be safe.
Yeah, so we have to, that's a concern. Some people aren't really comfortable with climbing up a ladder or getting off of a larger boat and stuff. So we're working on those things. We installed energy system. We have the basics of plumbing. We want to install a shower. The bedrooms are livable, so we can stay out there, and we're going to be spending many multiple nights and bringing some groups out. We're going to start paint stripping. We're going to put out a video soon about our paint stripping. So how's it going? It's coming along slowly. We have 3 lighthouses that we're working on, and we're making progress at all 3 at the same time. And a big push is going.
All right. Do you have any plans on
Expanding your organization, working on other lights,
any interest of Lake Superior?
Absolutely are expanding the organization and working on other lights. So if you don't know, houses, but we really want to make some progress on these 3. So we have Hooper Island, where we are sitting right now, and we have Wolf Trap, where we're working and making progress there, and we're actually building a dock down there. And then Craig Hill Channel that we just acquired, and we haven't done anything with that one yet. So the goal is to expand the organization, bring in dozens, if not hundreds, of people in paid positions and voluntary, and coordinate with educational groups and different. We're already talking with University of Maryland. We're going to have them come out and do a wind and weather station. So when we make the lighthouse more safe and accessible, definitely a wolf trap when we get that dock in. Oh, it's going to be so nice. Then we can bring in groups of people and really get a lot done. Lake Superior, I don't like cold weather, so I know those lighthouses need attention and someone needs to restore them, but lighthouses that get caked with a foot thick of ice in the winter is not something I want to tackle right now, but I would love to, because they are absolutely beautiful lighthouses up there. So maybe eventually we'll get there when the weather's better.
Let's scoot down maybe. See if we can get in the wind where the wind isn't.
Okay.
People are saying the wind's too loud.
Okay.
As long as we get you in it, it's fine.
No, you're in it too, Thomas.
We'll split it.
All right, have a look. Okay, so
That should be better. There's less wind.
yeah,
around
so
this
what
one.
the interesting thing about Lighthouse is that it's pretty much almost always windy, but there's like one spot on the lighthouse on the side away from the wind where all of a sudden it gets eerily quiet and there's no wind. So hopefully we're right in that spot right now, and we didn't want to have the sun behind us because that would affect the picture, which still looks pretty good right now.
All right. Yeah, let me know how the audio is now. Let's see.
He's an audio engineer.
Unfortunately, we're just streaming from a phone now,
Yeah.
so.
Can you quick write a song for us, Thomas, and record it for the live stream like you do for a video?
Did you guys ever find out about the outhouse that fell off?
Yeah, well, it has to be there, and we took our underwater robot, it's like an underwater drone, down there, and we tried to look around for it. That's at Wolf Trap, and we didn't find it, and then we ran out of time because you go down there, and we have this like list of all these things we need to do every time we come out, and we had allotted like an hour for the drone, and it actually got caught on something. We almost lost the drone. Underwater, it was caught on something, and then we had to take the boat out and pull the cable because it's attached to a cable, so you can always reel it back if it runs out of battery or whatever. So we had quite an adventure. We were out on the boat, and yeah, and Kyle was with us.
Yeah.
And one guy got hit in the mouth with a pole when we were trying to pull, and yeah. So we haven't. It has to be there. It has to be right there. It can't go very far. It's iron, so it just sank. So we know it's there, but we haven't seen it yet. Can't wait to show that video.
John from the UK says, "What's the end game?"
From it all after the preservation, hire them out as retreats.
To fund their upkeep. Thanks, John from the UK.
Yeah, thanks, John. Well, the end game of the Lighthouse Centers is to have a network of historical, environmental, educational centers throughout the Chesapeake Bay, and then maybe even beyond. Who knows how great this thing is going to get. So we already have 3 lighthouses in the upper, middle, and lower Chesapeake Bay. They're about 200 miles apart, or probably 120 in total. So we have the whole bay kind of covered, and maybe we'll fill in with more lighthouses. So the end game is to have a network of educational centers. So how will we pay for that? Through a variety of funding sources that we're exploring right now.
It's actually another question on here. Yeah.
Okay, great. So we'll get right into that. Right now, I'm just using up my entire life savings, which is fun and scary. But I'm so confident, even though we're running into all kinds of expenses and problems and things, and that's just things that are difficult are worthwhile. If it was easy, everyone would do it. So we do want to host events. So once we have docks built, that we can bring out groups of people, maybe have 50 people or so, and we can host events, which would be fundraisers, maybe some type of themed events, and for all the supporters of the Lighthouse Centers and people who work with us. And we'll be hosting events and obviously charging donations for that. And we could even hold special events like destination weddings or special parties for people who can afford to donate a lot to the Lighthouse. So, among other things like the YouTube channel, we're going to be doing a podcast, and we have some interest right now in a reality unscripted television show, which is actually a real possibility, and that will bring some funding to us and also a lot more attention, which will help us solicit donations and things.
Hi from Virginia Beach. Always
All right,
wants
not too
to
far.
see inside one of these lighthouses. Come across any ghosts?
Well, to answer your question, hello from Virginia Beach, and you're close to Wolf Trap. By car it's less than an hour, and you can come out and see the inside of one of these lighthouses like a lot of people want to, and we want so much to bring people out. The problem is that it's dangerous right now to bring people out, so we need to make it safe. We need to install docks and nice steps and a boat lift and everything, and then we're just going to be off to the races as far as the restorations will go super fast, and then we'll be bringing people out and getting them on. As far as ghosts, we haven't seen any ghosts, but we hear all kinds of weird. We keep hearing this like noise that's in like a human tone, and it's going, oh, oh. And Thomas and I, myself being a singer, Thomas is a singer and an audio engineer, and like we recognize frequencies that are in the human voice, and of course we're walking around mimicking them. But this is the only lighthouse that we've yet stayed overnight. Wolf Trap, there's some serious history. It's a little older, and it's a little more house-like. It's a little more scary. And Craig Hill, we haven't done the actual inspection of that yet, so there may be a ghost just sitting right there.
What kind of Fresnel lens was in the lighthouse?
The Fresnel lens, I'm not sure exactly which order of Fresnel. Now I forget, so I can't answer that question. I know it's on like Wikipedia or something, if it was like a first order or
That'll
second
be
order.
a future video. We'll bring out someone who's like an expert and they can tell us.
Yeah, usually what happens is the Fresnel lenses get removed. They're so valuable that they get removed and they end up in a museum somewhere. So I'm pretty sure that this one that was up here was stolen in the 70s. So who knows where it is? It's probably in somebody's garage, and they can't show it to anyone. Yeah. And then some of the other ones might be in a local museum. Some people are coming by fishing.
Yeah. Where can I donate now, and what will my donation go towards?
Okay, I love that question. There are two ways you can donate right now. You can hit the Super Thanks button on the YouTube right from any video, and I think you can select any amount. And we hate asking for donations, but we're at a point now where I think we've shown how serious we are, and we're giving everything we have. So we would love to, if we have enough followers, that if everyone gave a little bit. So you can go to the lighthouseCenters.org, and you can click on the donate or support button, and then you can choose an amount to send, and we would greatly appreciate it. Where it is going, we have money going in every direction. Every time we come to the lighthouse, every time we come out, like for example, we spent $750 at Home Depot just on pipe wrenches and some miscellaneous tools. We needed more drill bits. We bought a sink for the kitchen, and I forget. You turn around, everything's so expensive these days. But our big expense, which we might actually put out like a GoFundMe kind of thing, is the dock at Wolf Trap. We have a permit in hand from the Army Corps of Engineers to build a dock at Wolf Trap. And out in the bay, in 20 feet deep water, it's like building your own little oil drilling platform. It's going to be super heavy duty. It's going to have 10, 12-inch steel round pilings that are 50 feet long. We're going to have to drive into the bay floor, and then we're going to jack up the dock. And it's going to be absolutely amazing. It's going to be something like no one's ever done before for a personal dock for a lighthouse out in the bay, other than things like, I don't know, like I said, oil drilling platforms. So it's a very small version of an oil drilling platform type of dock. It has to be absolutely built to a very, overbuilt to a very heavy duty spec. And we're super excited. We have someone we're talking with right now to build it this summer and get it up by the end of the summer. And I don't care if I have to sell everything I own, that's gonna happen, because that's gonna make the whole lighthouse thing come to life.
Kim asks, would people be able to spend the night without having to host any parties? I think, you know, like, well, we have like a private thing.
Well, it's always a party when you're out here. So, when the lighthouses are safe and accessible, I mean, we can't help but let people stay out here in smaller forums. We haven't decided how we're not going to Airbnb it.
Yeah, it's just the liability would be crazy with an Airbnb, and you can't just have people come out by themselves.
I mean, I guess if you have enough money where you're going to pay for your transportation and a nice donation to the lighthouse, I think it makes more sense just to host events. So we'll be doing that, where we can, you know, get smaller donations from people, and we can have a dedicated driver bringing people out to the lighthouse and back all night long. We can have food and catering and different things, and it's going to be a heck of a party. So, I mean, I guess if you really want to, we could set something up, you know, maybe during the week and stuff and whatever. It's like, sure, come on out. It's a party. It's a part. Or if you don't want to party, you don't have to party.
Rad Nugget says,
Excellent name.
Wolf Trap seems the spookiest of the bunch, and Hooper's light gives off hospital vibes.
I guess it's a sterile light.
Hospital colors, maybe.
Yeah.
The red, white.
But I do agree 100%. Wolf Trap is the spookiest of the bunch.
It's very scary.
I guess it's just the way
the bricks and stuff. I always call it like the Harry Potter, looking, you know, kind of vibe.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely good comment. And Rat Nugget, excellent name.
How else can the specialized lighthouse lens be used? Izzy from PA.
Specialized lighthouse lens?
I don't know.
I don't know what Izzy ask. Is that our Izzy?
Yeah.
Izzy, you gotta ask me a better question than that. How else can it be used?
I'll wait for clarification.
Yeah.
Use them for. This is probably when we were talking about.
We could build a super weapon where it concentrates the light, and then we can just kill people with a laser or something. Maybe make endless energy.
Do you have to pay property taxes? Very interesting question.
No, because we don't have an address, so they can't find us. If they're sending bills, I don't know where they're going, because we don't have a mailing address. The truth is, we don't own land. The lighthouse was built on a special 5-acre section of property that the federal government took from the state of Maryland and Virginia, where the lighthouses are. But we don't own the land, and we don't own the bay or the bay floor. So technically, we're like a ship or a motorhome or something we're here, and we're permanently here because we weigh like 10 million pounds. So we're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But we don't have an address, and also it is a nationally registered historic landmark, which would probably I think there are some tax-free benefits if we were in that
interesting.
situation to being a registered historic structure.
Do you have any concerns about climate change's impact on the lighthouse?
Sure. Also, by the way, the lighthouse is still used by the general public. This one in particular is an active aid to navigation. So it's not really, we don't privately really get full function of usage of it. So it would be kind of rude for them to charge a sales tax or property tax for restoring a public service. But anyway, so climate change, yeah, is certainly a concern as far as, I mean, it's already affected the lighthouses in a positive way that we don't have ice on the Chesapeake Bay anymore. And if you're interested, there is a very similar lighthouse to this in design to Hooper called Sharp's Island. And actually in the 1970s, so it was 1977, so less than 50 years ago, there was ice so thick on the Chesapeake Bay that it hit the lighthouse. And you're talking about ice that may be like 6 inches or a foot thick or something for miles. And the power that ice has pushing against the lighthouse actually tilted the lighthouse. It's on a 15-degree tilt. So there is just living, breathing evidence of how things used to be and how they're not. And who knows, maybe we will have a major cold snap and we will have ice in the bay again, but it hasn't happened in a long time. So that, as far as rising sea levels or sinking land, which is happening to a lot of the islands in the bay. I mean, obviously, the sea levels haven't risen feet in the past 100 years; they've risen inches. But what we are like 16 to 18 feet above the water level. So even if the sea rose a foot, it would have no impact on the lighthouse. So the only concern to the lighthouse is a major cold snap causing ice to flow down and hit the lighthouse, especially after we build a dock, which is why we need to make it super strong to withstand ice.
Just to confirm, unfortunately we can't go in landscape mode. The phone wasn't allowing us, but we can show off. People are asking about landscape mode to see the surroundings. We can show it off a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a shame. We could back it up a little bit.
Yeah, I just don't want the audio. I'd rather have clear audio. Kim says I could bring some wine for a party.
Yeah, we already got 2 free beers one time. If you watch, there's a short on YouTube called something about Halloween, where a boat came by and they said, "You guys want some beer?" And we were like, "Yes." We lowered the bucket down and they gave us 2 beers. And one was Yangling, which is America's oldest brewery from where we are in Pennsylvania. But we like wine also. A nice white Merlot or something that is not too dark and not too light would be awesome. So bring it, and then
We'll see you out here.
Yeah, and the other person who wanted to party, just she can go up to bed. I don't know.
How long do you think till lighthouse will be done? I think.
So we have phases of restoration. So done will take years, but for example, Wolf Trap, where we're building a dock, which should be done by the end of the summer, then we're going to be able to bring large groups of people. We're going to have a crane on the dock, so we're going to be able to bring heavy equipment and things, and it's going to be super accelerated. Here we can only bring so many people out, but we're ready to stay overnight. So we're going to be bringing groups out, and the major part of the restoration is paint stripping and painting. So we have the wall here. Should I turn the camera a little bit?
Sure.
So we can see the wall. Yeah. So industrial painting experts, we have a solid iron wall that's coated with very thick paint, and we're gonna have to strip that, but we can't just go at it and sandblast it the way we do things on land, because we would have paint chips flying all over and going into the bay. So the method by which we strip the paint is going to have to be contained and vacuumed up into a container, so we can't just sandblast. That's the major part of the restoration, and you'll be seeing very soon, we're putting out a video where we compared some different types of paint stripping methods, and we'll show you which one we chose. Then we're going to bring groups of people out, and we're just going to be going at it, doing sections and repainting. That's a major part of the restoration. Stop the rust, and then the interior work that we started already, same thing, a lot of flaking paint and cleaning and stuff, but installing systems so we can live and stay out here for long periods of time. So we're ramping up the restoration process, and it's accelerating. So the major phases are going to be done this year, a lot of major phases, and then we have just the cleaning and painting and the building of docks and boat lifts, so we can bring even more people out. So I would say, you know, 1 to 3 years, and we should have all 3 lighthouses restored, repainted, and bringing people out.
It's just a nice comment. Good evening from North Wales. You're doing amazing work.
North Wales in Pennsylvania?
The UK.
Oh, in the UK, okay. So I live in North Wales, Pennsylvania. Awesome. Thank you for the compliment. We really appreciate it, and thank you for your support.
I think this was in reference to Izzy's comment in terms of them being valuable getting stolen. I think Izzy was saying,
It already got
why
stolen.
would someone like steal? What else is it used for?
A Fresnel lens is basically the world's largest piece of fancy antique jewelry.
It's not really.
It's incredibly beautiful. It's very ornate. They have all these like layers of glass that focus the light and maximize it in one direction. So it's just a giant, beautiful piece of jewelry. So it's very, very valuable. It's worth what someone would pay for it. Millions.
Celtic says, are you supported by state or federal grants or sponsorships?
The problem is with that is we don't have our nonprofit status yet. So a lot of grants and things are only for nonprofits, so we don't get any of that, even though we are what you call a benefit corporation. What we do benefits the general public. So you would think we would qualify for some stuff, but what comes with grants also are strings attached, where you have to typically grant access or give up certain rights. So and it's a lot of paperwork, and it takes a lot of time. Sometimes it takes years of applications and going through the process, and we just don't have the manpower we should hire some people who just work at writing and applying for grants.
Yeah.
And we do have Jana, our attorney, working for us, and hopefully she'll get into some of that, and we'll see what we qualify for, and we certainly should. We're restoring a nationally registered historic structure. It has incredible importance to the local communities and to the bay itself. We are benefiting the general public.
We definitely qualify. It's just a matter of getting there, you know?
Thanks for interrupting me, because I just go on and on and I talk too much.
I just want to keep up so we don't fall too far behind.
Okay.
People are talking about Fleeb says, I remember that people used to walk on the ice that formed on the bay. And Kim says, I remember the ice from '77, ice skates on the bay, bridge with my dad.
Wow. See, and that's the year that Sharps Island got knocked, tilted. So amazing. Yeah, if you have some pictures, you should send them.
Yeah,
I'd love to
on our
see it.
Facebook or Instagram, you can send them. Where in the bay is the lighthouse? So.
The one where we are in particular is in the middle Chesapeake Bay. It is near Hooper's Island. So if you look for Washington, D.C., we're pretty much equal in latitude to Washington, D.C.
What is your backstory? How did you become interested in lighthouses?
without going too much into detail, I grew up. I started a business called Blastco, doing industrial sandblasting and painting when I was 23, and I did that for a long time. Raised kids, and I was interested in restoring historic properties, and so I did like a barn home for myself and some other old houses, and we worked on a lot of historic properties, blasting and painting. And I was looking. I got to a weird place in my life where I was looking for a challenge and something of more meaning and importance. And also, I'm the kind of person that doesn't. I never stop moving. I like to be doing things. So I figured this lighthouse just kind of popped up on Facebook Marketplace, and I started looking into it, and I thought, I can sandblast and paint it. So the part that's hard for other people is easy for me. The part that's easy for a lot of other people, they know about boats and fishing in the bay and all the kind of stuff, which I didn't know anything about when I started. That was hard. So I thought, here is an opportunity to do something really meaningful with my life, and also force myself to be kind of on vacation while I'm working. So we do like working vacations. We work nonstop, and we go like 12 hours or more a day when we're here. But you get those moments where you just stop and you look around and you're just like, this is absolutely beautiful, and maybe I'll get into fishing or something someday. But the important thing is the Lighthouse Centers, which is going to do awesome historical and environmental work and education. So that is something I'm very passionate about, sharing these experiences, bringing out different groups and people who can share with people. So that's what really got me into it, and that's my background.
Janet asked if we can have a live walkthrough. Can we
Uh,
get a little walkthrough, or
Yeah, maybe later. Let's get through some more
we can,
questions,
we can
because
keep doing questions as
Yeah.
we're walking. Do you want to keep walking?
it'll get real shaky and weird. But yeah, okay. At the end, we'll just
All right.
kind of
At
walk
the end,
through,
we'll walk through.
and then we'll go. Why don't we go up to the top at the very end, and we'll end up there because it's probably windy.
Izzy says talk about the family business, what we just did. And that's
Yeah, we don't need to get too much into
But
Glasgow.
yeah, it is a
we're s-
family business. I don't know if I wasn't paying attention or anything. I don't know if you
Yeah.
you mentioned that we basically everyone in the family has worked there at some point. And, my older brother Dominic is basically he'll take it over at some point. It's
Yeah.
his passion.
Dominic's running the blasting and painting shop, but the problem is that the goal was to start restoring lighthouses, and for me to get away from Glasgow, where I've been for 30 years. This is my 30th year since I started it, and that's all I've ever known. But the problem is the lighthouses are so expensive. We have to work.
Yeah.
I have to work twice as hard to pay for the restoration of the lighthouses. So I'm like working these 2-3 full-time jobs of being, trying to be both places at once.
Someone asked again, how long do you think it'll take to finish a lighthouse? So, 1
Yeah.
to 3 years.
You'll see major progress this year, especially at Wolf Trapper. We're building the dock. We
But
talked about
I just want to say for anyone that if they join later, about 1 to 3 years or so.
Yeah. But this year there's going to be a huge surge.
Love your videos and glad somebody is out there refurbishing our history, which we are losing more and more of it by the day. Thank you for what you do. So just a nice comment.
Yeah, it is sad how the history is being lost. We want to get more into that. You'll see where we're going to be putting out posts and video talking about the history of the lighthouse. There's just so little time. We need to hire more people who can put together the research, put together the videos. Like you're working all the time on our videos just to show that we're making progress with the restoration and the fun stuff that we like to do. So you'll see more history. We love the history. There's so much to learn about what the importance of these lighthouses and all the experiences that have happened.
Is there a word akin to landmark for historic lighthouses? You guys say historic structure a lot, which makes sense. Sea mark would be silly, but there should be definitely a word.
Yeah, leave one in the comments. Sea mark. That's all I can think of now is sea mark. Historic landmark. Yeah, that's great. historic sea mark.
What are your names?
I'm Rich, and that's Thomas. Yeah, we're the Lighthouse Center's president and vice president, and we have some other people working with us, Kyle and Jana, and a bunch of other people who Jordan's going to be doing welding and stuff and coming out with this. We'll be meeting lots of people as we put out more videos this year.
Do you plan on opening to the public once complete?
Absolutely. There's not much we can do with 3 lighthouses by ourselves. The goal is to share these lighthouses because they're so important to everyone. Share them with people, make them accessible, make them safe, host events, celebrate lighthouses, celebrate history, celebrate the progress we're making in the environment in Chesapeake Bay, and monitor, educate, monitor the bay and bring people out so they can learn and maybe get inspired to make changes in your life that can affect your whole world.
Is it really cooking in the spring and summertime? I assume that means it's really hot.
Yeah, well, the good thing about lighthouses is that there's always a nice breeze, so it's not too bad. The bad part is it's hard to get out of the sun. In the summer, it's really bright, and actually you get, like right now, we get the reflection off the water and from the sun.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're cooking at times. I like the heat. And then the other thing is it's always humid because the water's blowing right over the water, where the wind is blowing over the water. So it's I like it though. I like to get sweaty. The only thing that stunk last year about it was we didn't have a shower set up, so we would get like disgustingly dirty, and then we just have to wait to go home to the shower. So this year we'll get a nice shower at the end
Still
of the
working
night.
on the shower.
That someone's bringing us some wine, so at the end of the night we're done work, a shower, a glass of wine, and we'll get to chill for a little bit before we go to bed and get up the next day to work on the lighthouse again.
What are the positive environmental impacts you can make out on the lighthouse?
What I'm so excited about that question because lots of people are doing wonderful things for the environment, trying to make positive changes, but they don't have what we have, which is this place. So we're not just telling people, hey, reduce your consumption, don't litter, don't dump oil on the ground and poisonous things that sediment and chemicals and all these things that end up destroying our ecosystem in the Chesapeake Bay. We can tell people that, which is good. Everyone should know that. But the impact we have is that when you come out and you are here on this lighthouse and you look around, you feel it, and you get this. It's like life changing. You get this like serene feeling. You're in touch with nature, and that stays with you for I believe for a lifetime. I think it imprints your brain. You had this experience, and instead of just reading about it in a book or watching a video or hearing someone talk about it, you've experienced it, and now it's imprinted in you. So I think we are going to start just a chain reaction. I just got getting my fly on my ankle.
Yeah.
A chain reaction of an effect of inspiring people to make changes, simple changes in their life. Of just don't consume that much, or watch what goes into the Chesapeake Bay.
Mm-hmm. And also something we can actively do is grow oysters.
Yes, that's another thing. We're already in touch with James Porkchop, and he's going to put us. I think it's the Oyster Recovery Partnership. Reach out to us if you're watching. And what we're going to do right here, hanging off the railing, we're going to take a seeded oyster in a basket, and we're just going to lower it right down into the bay. We're going to grow oysters right here, and then we're going to educate people. We'll pull them back up every time we come out, and we'll watch. We can monitor the growth, and we can show what we can do, because I think it's an ideal place to grow oysters because it'll be above the sediment on the floor. So that's one of the things we're super excited about, because if you don't know about oysters, stay tuned and we'll tell you about them. They filter the water. They're super good for the health of the Chesapeake Bay and all the other waterways in the world where oysters grow and different things.
Mark says, "Yo, Lighthouse, you're awesome, bro. Stay blessed, my guy."
Yes, awesome. I like that.
Dom says, "What's the best meal you have had out there?"
Well, there's a little story that goes along. The first time we came out, Thomas is an amazing chef. He's very serious about his cooking. So we had two great meals out here, actually. But the first time we came out, we did like we do at home all the time. We always have to take everything to the nth degree. So we brought steaks out, and over a propane cast iron skillet, we made really delicious steak.
It's like a celebratory.
Yeah, and that was the first night that we stayed out here, and then I think that might have been the night that the boat started tearing away from the lighthouse, and we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. So that was great. And the other time was when Scott Jones, who's just a spectacular friend and so helpful, friend of the lighthouse and a friend of us, he gave us steamed crabs, fresh from Hooper's Island, right around the lighthouse, and we made. What did we make out of them? You made like a sauteed. Thomas made like with butter and some different spices, some mayo spices.
It was like crostinis or something on bread.
Yeah. So it was delicious, fresh Maryland crab on a crostini, sauteed with some spices. So those were the two great meals. And the awesome thing about the lighthouse is we're surrounded by the freshest, best seafood possibly in the world. With crabs and oysters when they're in season, or farmed oysters. So lots of great food, which is near and dear to our hearts. Celebrate with food and some of that wine that the person is bringing.
Did you ever clean out the poo-poo pipe?
Actually, well, the story is, so one of the things we did today was the poo-poo pipe still we cleared it through in that video, where we got through and the bay water came up and we cleared all the feet and feet of sediment out of it. So we had the pipe where water was flowing through it, but there was still that 2-inch pipe that was jammed down in there. So today we took it to Pound Town and we brought some 1-inch pipe and we threaded them together and we put a plate on the bottom. And we went down, we just figured we're gonna pound it through and out of the lighthouse. So we just started beating, we brought a sledgehammer, and we took it to Pound Town and we pounded it down, and then it wouldn't go anymore, and we got frustrated, and we were pulling the pipe back up and it had like an expanded plate on the bottom. And somehow we're like, wow, this pipe's really heavy, and we pulled it up, and the other 2-inch pipe had gotten stuck to it and pulled it up, and I was like, grab it.
Yeah.
We grabbed it and pulled it out. So I have to proudly say that we cleared the we cleared the poo-poo pipe.
Long story short.
Yes.
I
talked to
You have heard of any notable stories from when it was operational and manned, like the Flannan Isle Lighthouse here in Scotland, UK?
I can't think of any. Well, the story Hooper Island. I mean, nothing like super. We haven't heard any super stories like pirates and things, but there were a couple rescues that happened back in the day when you couldn't just take a motorboat across. So some boats had gone down and people actually got saved and swam. Or actually, they took the lifeboat. The lightkeepers did, and went out nearby and saved some people who were drowning in the bay and brought them. And then they were trapped on the lighthouse for a couple of days because they had to wait for someone to come out and get them. So that was a really cool story. Some of the other lighthouses, we don't have any major deaths or lightkeepers that went insane and killed the other lightkeeper or maybe mysteriously died, and there was no one to tell the story. So that's another lighthouse.
Will lighthouses get solar systems and maybe something for water distillation when there's a lot of sun?
Absolutely. We do have a solar system, and we actually just reoriented the solar panels today, which is one of the things we accomplished today. So we have a solar system. We have lithium iron phosphate batteries. So we have adequate storage and an inverter that is. Well, watch our video about the world's cheapest solar power system. So we do have a solar power system here. We did put out a video about it. We're going to expand it, and we're going to add wind power. So when the sun is down, we're still going to be generating because there is just constant. It is ideal to generate wind power.
And we're working on the water distillation. We're getting there.
Yeah. So
trying to figure out the best system to
yeah,
use.
if someone knows the ideal system to use, or if you want to sponsor us and give us one, we'll show it in a video and promote you. But they are a little bit expensive. Right now we're just bringing jugs of water out. We just bring 5-10 gallons every time we come out, and then we keep some stored that we can clean with and whatever. The other lighthouses don't have complete power systems. We have a system for wolf trap that we're going to be bringing down there. That's awesome. And solar power and batteries.
Strings of oysters sound fantastic. Would strings of mussels also work?
Well, it's in a cage, so they're loose in a cage, not on a string necessarily. So I would think mussels would work, but mussels really aren't a major thing in Chesapeake Bay. There are different types of like clams and things, but oysters are, first of all, they're delicious, and they do a really good job at filtering the bay. So that's why they're so popular. And there was a time not so long ago when the entire bay floor and everything was just covered with oysters and entire oyster reefs, just reefs built up of oysters on top of oysters over time. So that's the goal, is to grow those back. That's why we focus on oysters, because they are the what's the word for indigenous or
Native.
Yeah, the native shellfish.
When you first started, did you have any fears of what could go wrong? Did it?
Yeah.
I think the boat was the main.
Yeah, I think one of the things that that made us start this is the idea that we didn't stop to think about what we were afraid of as far as the entire project. I mean, taking your entire life, like I was doing pretty well as far as my life savings toward retirement and stuff, and just saying I'm just not going to think about really what I'm doing to myself financially, not having the fear, because I want to accomplish this goal. And I took the same approach to driving a boat out in the middle of the bay. And sure, we made some mistakes and some things went wrong. We got caught in storms. We had the boat almost get ripped off of the lighthouse.
Power steering broke.
Yeah, so we had no steering out in the bay and had to get towed in by the Hoopers Island Fire Company. Thank you so much.
Speaking of that, the next comment is shout out to Scott Jones and Hoopers Island.
Yes, Scott, our man.
Everybody loves Scott.
Yep, and his dog Finn.
Yep.
We gotta put out a
Finn.
video about Finn, just about Finn.
Love so much what you guys are doing. Wondering if the chance comes if you would ever take on either Bloody Point or Sharp's Island.
Absolutely. I think Sharp's Island is privately owned, and I have a plan for that actually to write it. Like I dream about how we could tilt it up. I mean, the idea is to have a network of environmental centers, the Lighthouse centers. So we would like to take them all on. And if you know who owns Sharp's Island, have them reach out to me, because we could restore it. I mean, that one's in really, really bad shape, so we might just do the exterior and make it look beautiful on the outside and use it as another environmental center destination. And the same thing with Bloody Point. I don't know if it's privately owned or owned by the government, but the goal is as many lighthouses that we can restore and make into environmental centers. We want to do that because we feel so good about what we're doing.
Some positive comments. Fully clear, talking about the pipe. Nice.
Yeah.
You guys rock. So pleased you got the pesky pipe out.
Poop pipe.
Yeah.
Pesky poop pipe.
How is the water tanks? Is that even good for potable water? So the cisterns in the cellar.
Yeah.
How is it?
The definition of potable water, I don't think we would drink it, but it's definitely good for washing and cleaning and showering. Because they have like a solid lining. We'll test just to make sure there aren't any weird chemicals or anything in there, or lead or anything. But I think we're good to go. And the one's really dirty. It's going to require a lot of cleaning. And the one has just they're 4,000 gallons of storage. So in the basement below the floor, you have this huge tank with a lid. We actually climb down in it, which you probably shouldn't have done. But there's like this salt. I think it's salt for some reason. There's like
I think it's salt buildup.
Yes.
From I don't know.
I don't know why
some
they
kind
had.
of calcium something.
Yeah,
Could
maybe
be
it's just.
calcium.
It could be just calcium that settled out of the water. But regardless, there's just like a calcium sediment at the bottom of the tank, which we can just scrub and vacuum out the shop vac. We get that one super nice and clean and store. So then we'll store tons of water. Get a water desalination unit and just run it and pump it with all of our extra energy that we have left over from the sun and wind power. Probably what we'll do is we'll come out and then at the end we'll just be like, okay, let's use up all our stored battery power since it charges while we're gone, and we'll just make much more leave.
Where do you get the music for your videos?
Our man Thomas, he is a musician. He is an audio engineer to the stars, and shout out to Mike, who's Thomas has done a lot of work for in audio engineering, and so Thomas, he has a gift for music. It's amazing, and he just records a song and totally produces, mixes it, masters it, and just puts it on our video. So we are so thankful to have you as part of the Lighthouse Center's crew. And so Thomas just makes, like, for example, did we put out the one that had the Limp Bizkit vibe? So we wanted to use a Limp Bizkit song, and we couldn't because of all the copyright. So Thomas just made a song that felt like that song, changed the key, and just wrote it, recorded it. But the case, it's in the case on short. What is the case on?
Curse that guy who threw the pipe down the hole.
I hate that guy. If I ever see him, I'm gonna punch him in the face.
So please, they beat the pipe.
Normally I say violence is not the answer, but for the guy who stuck that pipe down there, he deserves violence, and it took violence to get the pipe out. Actually, we had to take the pipe to Pound Town, and then it came out.
Sorry, I'm just being honest, but I think you look like Ranger Aaron from the kids show T-Rex Ranch.
Wow, I need to check that out. Was it me or you? Is that Thomas or?
I assume
Rich?
you.
Looks like that.
It's like the setup.
Yeah, I also have been told that I look like a Mexican race car driver, some guy, and I actually do kind of look like him. I'm not as cool as he is because he drives race cars, and I just like restore lighthouses and blast and paint lighthouses.
It's probably this guy.
Kind of a dork. I don't see it, but thank you. We should probably. One of my superpowers is see people who look like other people or like a combination. So I do that all the time. I'm like, you look like this or that person combined with another person.
Follow up, did you ever figure out what that one hole with water in it?
Yeah, I think we covered that. Oh, the hole with
No,
the mystery hole.
Yeah.
No, we
But
don't.
long
We
story
discovered.
short, no.
Yeah, we discovered.
There's two, actually. There's symmetrical two holes on either side of the lighthouse, and we can't figure out what. They're not in the blueprints. We don't know what. They don't seem to be connected to anything.
The greatest working theory that we had was that they collected rainwater back in the day, which we wouldn't do now because there's so much bird poop on the lighthouse. that maybe the water came down and it was like a catch-all for sediment and then flowed up and then over into the cisterns. But we reached all around and looked in there and there's no outlet. So they are mystery tanks. Still haven't figured it out. And now there's two of them.
Have to pay attention to the music now.
Yes, Thomas. And follow Thomas, Kuche, K, it's a different spelling of his last name. Yeah, K-U-C-H-A-Y. K-U-C-H-A-Y.
Lol
amazing,
as a pipe
amazing
guy.
progressive, modern metal with a electronic twist.
Take a shot every time Rich says Pound Town.
We should bring this out, something we take a shot of. We should pound a beer.
What kind of music does the chef, man, musician, audio engineer like? Can you give me 3 favorite bands? Currently, I would say Halsey, singer, songwriter, just put out one of my favorite albums ever. It's amazing. Chopin, classical composer. Can't go wrong with Chopin. And something heavier. I don't know. I've been enjoying Silent Planet's last album. Very heavy metal music, but it's very good. So those would be my 3 current listenings.
And a song we don't like is the song Thomas played while we were hammering on the pipe, called Pound Town, which had lyrics that we can't repeat, but it was entertaining nonetheless. But
It was motivation.
Yeah, we do like rap music, but that's not a good example of good music. I think.
Yeah, there's some good music.
So now you got to take another shot because I said the words.
Have you had any people like climb up on the lighthouse while you were there, or signs people have been inside?
Thankfully, no. We've had no intrusions, and now we installed security cameras. It's very hard to get up on the lighthouse because it has a ladder, and then there's a covering on the ladder that gets locked, so you can't climb the ladder. It's like a flat piece of sheet metal, and then there's grating that covers that where there's a padlock. So you really have to have some kind of Spider-Man skills to get up onto the lighthouse, and then.
Well, previous to us owning it, though.
Oh yeah,
there were lots of people that came in, scratched on the walls,
Ghosts
wrote garbage and stuff.
got murdered, became ghosts.
Left beer cans.
Went to Pound Town here.
Maybe.
Drank beer. But thankfully now people are very respectful. But over the years, people have broken into lighthouses, and when they were publicly, people thought they were public property. So now we have some security, so that's not a problem, thankfully.
That's good. I was worried about people trying to steal stuff. 4 to 5 shots at this point. Are there certain things you are not allowed to do when it comes to remodeling or refurbishing?
Yeah, so the lighthouses are in the National Registry of Historic Places. So there's a covenant that we signed when we took over possession of the lighthouse, each of them, that we have to adhere to those covenants. So basically, we have to restore the lighthouse to its original appearance, or some iteration of the way it was originally, or over historically over time. So, which is fine with us because we love the way the lighthouse looks and we wouldn't want to change it. The interior, I think you can. Again, we're just going to restore the interior and then put furnishings in it. So we will do everything according, because we want to, share the history and show it as a historic place.
Mm-hmm.
But we are required by law to keep the appearance as it was, and probably do.
And we want to do that. We
Yeah.
want to restore it as it was historically. So. for security, you mean sharks with laser beams.
Well, we do have an industrial laser that we're going to be using, and we're going to be showing you. So please keep following, because it's going to be, we're going to get so many views off of that. An industrial laser that just goes and like melts paint and blasts off rust, and it's really big. It weighs like 500 pounds, so we're going to have a hell of a time getting it up here. But if we could attach the laser to sharks, which there really aren't many sharks here, but we could maybe hire one, or dolphins. You get dolphins around. Dolphins are smart. So let's attach the laser to a dolphin, and they can just patrol and just fire holes in, boats.
I hear that a lot of work in archaeology. I think that was in reference to the restoration. Yeah. Is there any home comforts you'll need to sacrifice, such as internet? No.
Yeah. So far, it's that not having a shower in the first year was a comfort. I mean, I really like it.
But in the end, I think the question is more of, will we have to sacrifice in the end? I would assume that's the question.
Well, the idea is to have all the comforts of home. So in reference to internet, which now, these days, that's like a major thing for people. We do have a couple bars of cell service. So actually, like when we were working here last year during baseball season and the Phillies were deep in the playoffs, I was actually streaming Phillies and Eagles games out here. So we have enough internet, and I think we're going to go with Starlink. So Elon, if you can,
just send it down.
Yes.
What is the next big project with the Lighthouse?
The major project we touched on earlier is a dock built at Wolf Trap, which is going to be absolutely amazing. If you're just joining us now, go back and listen. It's going to be a major accomplishment. It's going to be incredible. So that's like the big push as far as expense. And here at Hooper, we're just, like we talked about earlier, installing the shower and stuff and making it livable so we can spend multiple days here. We're going to start, so the major phase, we're going to start stripping paint here and repainting the main parts of the rusty part of the lighthouse.
Powdered soap in a good storm. It's amazing. Instead of a shower.
Yeah, I think we'll have to do that. I'm kind of a wimp with cold water. I like a nice hot shower, but we're gonna have to do it. Powdered? Why powdered soap? Why not liquid soap?
I don't know. Because you're in a storm. You think you could use normal soap?
Yeah. Why powder? It's gonna the whole box is gonna get wet.
Thank you for all of your work on these lighthouses. I think everyone here loves them, appreciates you guys. I'll be watching Indeed for your job openings.
Indeed, the job online job thing. Cool.
Yeah.
Indeed, you will.
When are you two getting jet skis?
We thought about jet skis just as a fast way to get out the lighthouse and back, but we were actually, but we need to.
I'm still thinking about that.
Yeah, well, it seems like more of a recreational. First of all, I don't like to get wet, so which is really weird for someone who bought lighthouses. But I mean, I love to swim. I don't like to get wet when I'm working. I love swimming. I float, so I don't need any flotation devices. It's true. I have a hard time snorkeling because I can't get down into the water. I just keep floating back up. So I probably won't drown. But the good news is we just got a sponsorship deal with Highfield Boats, makers of rigid inflatable boats. Awesome quality boats that we're going to use. So jet skis are great for maybe zipping out here and back if you don't mind getting wet, but you can't carry a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We're always carrying so much stuff out here and back. So shout out to Highfield, and you'll be seeing they're rigging up a boat right now for us, and we have 2 of them coming that they gave us a super deal on, and you'll see us with those. So now we can safely get out the lighthouse, and they'll be lightweight enough that we can lift them up on davits and get them out of the water. It's been a major problem when the wind picks up in the waves, and all of a sudden your boat's slamming against the lighthouse, or the rope is just tearing. And so so that's been a major challenge. And we actually lost a lot of time with Hopper, which Hopper is no more. We sold Hopper.
Rip.
Yeah, rest in peace, Hopper.
F in the chat for Hopper.
Pour one out for Hopper. Pound Town. Take a shot for Hopper.
Do you know why the Navy uses powdered soap? It's so you can't drop it in the shower.
So then you don't have to pick it up? Is that the concern?
I'm thinking so.
That's a good, I guess that's a, I don't know, I didn't know that was a problem.
Waving from across the way at the Patuxent River.
Yo! Patuxent's right over there behind us, so can you see yourself? I think I see that person. There's the Baba Booey's right there, and Patuxent's right over there.
Dude is the life preserver. Sounds great about the boats.
Yeah.
What kind of fish have you caught?
Well, we haven't had time to fish. We did. Matt dropped the line in when he was here a few months ago, and we really only caught one fish, and that was a toadfish. Pretty much the ugliest fish that I've ever seen. They're pretty common here around the lighthouse because of the riprap that they dumped around the lighthouse. So most of the bay is just a sandy, muddy bottom, and then right around the lighthouse is more of a rocky bottom. So
I think people catch a lot of rockfish and
stripers and well, we haven't had time to fish. Maybe someday you'll see us doing that. We'll bring some people out who will fish. I don't know anything about fishing other than pond. There's a lot more to it out here.
have you ever brought kids out there?
Not yet. It's not really safe. Anyone who comes out here has to sign waivers of liability, and that's kind of hard with a minor. So, other than Caden, I think he was 14 when he came out here first. Scott's son, Scott, and Caden's awesome, and he's been out here. So, yeah, technically we've had 14, 15.
But when it's safe, of course, everyone should be able to come out.
Yeah, our goal is to make the lighthouse so accessible with a dock and a stairway and a boat lift and everything that even people who have limited mobility and older people will, who love lighthouses, will be able to experience the lighthouse in person.
Have any birds been nesting at the lighthouse? How are you going to keep the lighthouses clean?
It's going to be constant maintenance to keep them clean. We rely on basically when it rains a lot during the rainy season, it cleans all the bird poop off. But when it's dry and stuff, it just kind of accumulates. So when we're here, we kind of scare the birds off a little bit. But you'll also see that as far as nesting, yes, osprey have come back every year and nest on the top of this lighthouse, so we have to just stay away from them. And we did put some cameras up, so you will be seeing, follow the channel. We already had some on our regular social media, Facebook and Instagram. On Mother's Day, we did a little thing. We showed the osprey, and we're going to be showing more. The problem is that the lighthouse it's in a way it's ideal for osprey. That it's a high point and there's a lot of structure for them to build their nest around the railing up there. But there must have been some major storm. It's so high off the bay. It's like 60 feet where they are, and something just eradicated the nest. Last year we came out and it was gone. So that really is a shame. People went out for the osprey nest last year, and well, hopefully they'll survive this year.
Tell us more about the TV show.
We can talk about it. We just can't give. It's a major studio that has produced some shows. We won't say it, but that you would know. And the way it works is they shot what they call a cast and tape. Basically, we had 2 interviews with them, and they're shopping it with their higher ups, and I outside of us, not just the Lighthouse. So and they're going to be shopping it to major networks, I guess. Amazon, Hulu, Netflix.
So there's a lot of wind sound. Yeah, I think we got a smooth one.
Shift down. We're getting closer to. Cool. I can tell already that the wind is greatly reduced. So we're super excited about that. I mean, the show, what the show would do, and I think it's a real possibility. At first, it was a long shot, and some people had reached out to us about doing documentary and different things, which would be really cool. But what a show will do is bring enough attention to the project that we can go full-on nonprofit and solicit donations to restore all the lighthouses and do a lot of things for the environment and educational and for all the historic work that the Lighthouse Centers is going to do, and acquire more lighthouses and increase our network and our footprint around the bay and maybe elsewhere.
I lost the stream.
So, but the show, I mean, it would be a big pain. We'd have a camera crew following us around. You'd get all kinds of, like, we had a bunch of stuff today. We're like, that would have been good for the show. I think we argued about something a little bit, and just you can't. Today's just me and Thomas. Like, sometimes we bring, normally we have other people with us, so we just can't film everything. But and Thomas tries to film as much as he can, but he has to help and do things. So
I actually dropped the camera. The camera fell today. I wasn't even holding because I put the camera down to help lift some stuff up, and the camera fell.
Yeah, it was on the boat.
Yeah.
When we were climbing up, and I said, Thomas, can you help? Hook that thing up that we were pulling. Because Scott there was a lot of the tide. As Scott was saying, tide rolling tide. It's rolling tide. Scott said, and he had to keep bringing the boat back and bringing it back, so he couldn't hook. I was up top pulling things up, and so Thomas had to put the camera down, and it's on a stand, and it just fell over and broke. The lens broke right off. So that was a nice $500 surprise.
What color will the exterior walls be? Is there a reason for the color or stripes?
Well, Hooper Island, obviously we have to keep it original, and it didn't have stripes, which I'm glad, because I think that those are a little goofy. Maybe if our lighthouse was striped, I would think it was cool, but it's going to be the white exterior, the black top, and then the caisson was kind of an iron oxide, kind of a reddish. Now people associate it with like a rust color, but originally, it would have been a red oxide paint. So all three of our lighthouses have a similar caisson, so they'll all be the same color, and then Hooper Island with the white. So it's pretty simple color scheme, simple, beautiful, historic, amazing.
Just gone to bed in England, but how many times have you dropped stuff into the sea and lost things?
A few wrenches. I can remember vice grips and things, because when we're climbing up the ladder, when we first get there, we have to unlock it and open the door, and we were bolting, undoing the bolt that had it one time, and I lost vice grips and things. I can't think of anything really major.
I don't think we dropped too much yet, keyboard yet. Sure it'll happen. Cheers from Denmark. Hello, Denmark.
Hello,
Love Denmark.
Yes.
Been to Denmark several times.
When Thomas was touring with a band, he toured Europe. He has a pretty amazing life story in his young life already.
Shows are great for funding, but can dramatize stuff. Hopefully it will help with funding, which is the big thing.
Yeah, I mean, we're not into the drama and the stuff. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, the main goal is just to get the exposure, and that would help the project tremendously.
I'm not excited about like being made a fool of and stuff, but I'll do it for the lighthouses.
Yeah.
I don't care. What do I have to lose?
Smithsonian or National Geographic channels would be perfect.
Nat Geo would be a good candidate. A lot of channels that show home restoration. This is like when we were talking with the production company, this is the ultimate home restoration. Just when you think everything's been done as far as different types of restoration challenges, I mean, here is a house that is literally in the middle of the bay, miles from shore, with all the challenges that comes with that. So it'd be a cool show.
Is Wolf Trap bathroom up and running? I think maybe they need Hooper.
Hooper, not yet. Because we want to do it like everything's super nice. So what we did then was just kind of set up bathroom setup off to the side, and then we're going to be restoring, because we want to do tile and all this kind of stuff.
We have to cut concrete and.
Yeah. So we realized that we needed facilities in order to do the facilities right. So it's kind of like this catch-22 situation. So you just have to do a temporary thing before you can do the permanent. But it's going to be so sweet when it's done with the brick and tile, and it's going to be nice.
Enjoying from New Zealand.
Hey, wow!
Never been to New Zealand.
That might be. You might win the prize for the farthest from where we are right now. That's the other side of the world.
Yeah. Can you all see anything cool with your binoculars? What's the night sky like out there?
The night sky is gorgeous when it's clear. I mean, it's just
There's no
stars.
light pollution.
Very
for
very
miles.
little. Very little light pollution, and just sky from edge to edge, and it's just gorgeous. And then you have the lights from Solomon's and different places, a little bit from Hooper's Island. But it's beautiful and serene when you're out here at night, especially when the weather's nice. And like the one time, it's so quiet, and you just hear like what you hear right now. Like you just hear like the waves just kind of lapping, and I slept like a baby. One night I had the window open right next to me in the summer. It was awesome.
Hi from Australia. Are you
Hey.
thinking of setting up live cams?
That might be the farthest. We are thinking of live cams. The problem with live cams is we need
You need data all the time, power all the time, and like some sort of computer system to run the whole thing.
Yeah.
So you just need enough solar panels and a power system, and then Wi-Fi. Basically, you need a Starlink system or something to.
Yeah, Starlink. It'd be great, and it'd be a great way to bring attention. And we can,
we'd love
like
to.
for example, our Osprey cam, that is set up, but it's not a live cam, live streaming. So we'll be posting some video from it, but we would love it if people could just anytime go online and see a live cam, especially at Wolf Trap, which is 60 miles south of here, near the mouth of the bay, near the ocean, and there's just always tons of cormorants and pelicans and other seagulls and things. And here we have osprey and peregrine falcons, and so there's a lot to see. We also get dolphins, all kinds of cool ships. As far as one went by just right before we started
Yeah.
the live cast. So maybe someday, but we need more funding, we need more time, we need more help. So if someone messaged us and said, hey, my specialty is this, and I am willing to donate my time to set up a live cam for you, and I know how to do it and stuff, we would say, come on out, let's do it. That'd be awesome.
Solitude sounds so nice. Yes.
It is nice. Honestly, that's one of the reasons why I got into this was, the world, there's just so much strife and division and in the world today. And number one, the project is something everyone can get behind. Everyone virtually. I mean, there's a couple jerks who don't want the lighthouses restored. And the osprey don't want the lighthouses restored, the angry osprey. But it's something everyone can get behind and feel good about.
A lot of data. Hopefully Starlink can do that for the live streams. Yeah, it can, but it's just a matter of getting it out here and then paying monthly. It's like $100 a month or something.
Yeah, and that's not bad.
Yeah.
the time to set it up and maintain
But
it, and it's going to be, you know, to get the stream set up online. It's work, and we're just so busy with everything.
Hello from Arkansas.
Hey,
I'm originally from Maryland. So glad you're promoting mid-historic heritage.
great. One of my brothers has a house in Arkansas.
Hey guys, good afternoon. Hard to believe it's warm enough for t-shirts.
It's a beautiful day, and I'm so happy for that, because coming out here when it's cold and windy is miserable. Your nose runs and your ears are cold, and so this is the time now. We're going to go crazy the next few months.
Set up a Patreon to fund it. Yeah, we're working on the Patreon. We just want to make sure we have content to post on it before we have people like subscribe to something. I think we'd feel bad if we like made a Patreon and then couldn't be, consistent with content on it if people are paying for it.
Definitely something we want to do. Me personally, I mean, Thomas would have to set it up or someone else come on board. I don't have time for one more thing. It's all we can do to make restoration progress. We're doing planning, we're writing, and updating our website, and I'm working with Jana to get a package, like a PDF package out to donors, and there's just so much we can do for the light. I'm so excited for the environmental work, and I think we're talking with someone from the University of Maryland to install a weather station out here, and that's going to be just so exciting, and the oyster stuff, and it's just like, I think even after the lighthouses are restored, it's going to be a full-time job, just meeting with people, bringing them out here, educating, and just coordinating events. Like, I'm super excited to get to that point. We have to be working on all these things at once. I'm talking to the guys building the dock, and we're shooting videos, editing, and it never ends. Like, we go to if I didn't need sleep, it would be 24 hours a day.
A pay for patrons just to support, but yeah, exclusive content is nice. Yeah, we could consider setting that up just for like a pay for a monthly thing. But it would be nice. Maybe what we could do is have the live streams going all the time on the Patreon as like a thing.
Yeah.
And that pay for support. Sure.
We set it up all. Yeah. We have all kinds of, like, there's a lot. We like to put out refined edited videos, but there's all kinds of funny stuff and fun stuff that happens, and educational things that we experience every time. It's always something. It's always something unique about it.
Good night, guys. I sent a wave and a smile your way from Hampton, Virginia.
Oh, wow. Close by. Awesome.
Do you get enough viewers on YouTube to help fund? I really enjoy your content. I love solitude. I'm currently watching from inside my Westphalia on Vancouver Island.
Westphalia. Yeah, that's a motorhome thing, I think. Do we get enough funding? No. Well, it's nice. It's a little bit every month, depending.
Yeah. Short answer is no.
Yeah. If every video got 3 million views like the one did, then it would make a dent in our funding. I mean, obviously, this is a multi-million-dollar project. It's nice, but we hope to grow more. We're going to be closing in on 100,000 subscribers, and we need to work harder on feeding the channel. It's just so much work. It's hard to do the things we do, and then to film it and edit it and put it out. And I love answering all the comments, so when we put out a video, like, I'm sitting there for days, every moment I get, just checking comments and talking to people. So it's a lot of work, but I think we will get considerable funding from YouTube. I like to say we're gonna make YouTube pay for the restoration of the lighthouses. So you getting windy again?
Yeah, I think we got to wrap up soon anyway. It's almost 7, and our phones are about to die. We want to have some phone service on our way home.
Why don't we run up to the top of the light? Are there any good questions we want to answer real fast? Did you want to show a picture of the dock. Show them the dock we're working on. You have to see this. This is amazing. This is what, you wonder why, we don't get even more done at the lighthouse. There's so much work going into the building of this dock structure.
Yeah, let's see if I can show this
Thomas
somehow.
did a 3D rendering of it. And so here we have, so that's the caisson of the lighthouse. And then that's the dock structure. So it's a jack up barge. So we're going to float it barge out. We're going to jack it up out of the water near the top of the lighthouse. And it has a stairway and a lower level where you'd unload from the boat or have a boat lift there in the front. So I hope that the rendering does it justice. That's going to be amazing. And that has been a ton of work, and it's going to cost a ton of money. But we have to make that happen because that will change everything that we do in the lighthouses.
Do you want to do a quick walkthrough before your phone dies?
Yeah, let's
show the lighthouse.
Yeah, let's. Before it dies, is to go out to the top of the lighthouse. If you want to follow. Here's a davit arm, kind of a jib crane that goes into, and then there's this awesome pulley. So we have to get that because we have like 100 pounds. Okay, well,
It's gonna be too much.
All right, so we have the rounded stairs. First level, there's a inflatable mattress. Wasn't really intending on showing this. And then we went out to the bay on the first level. This will be the third floor bedroom.
We might lose service while we're doing this, by the way.
Just go right through here. Light keeper's room below the watch room. Solar power system here, the Coast Guard system. And the Osprey, they haven't been here, so we'll just
It's gonna be too much wind up here.
and show the light. Here are solar panels and stuff. So probably a lot of wind. So it's probably not a great way to end the video, but here we are up on the lighthouse. I swear one of these days I'm gonna jump off the lighthouse safely into the bay. I'm gonna start by jumping from that level. But Thomas doesn't believe me. I need training though. I gotta learn how to.
You're gonna break your feet.
It's only 50 feet here. All right, good night everyone.
All right.
Hey, thank you guys so much for following us and being so supportive. I am super excited about the progress we're making and the huge things that are going to be accomplished this year. So if you can help out and donate, go ahead. If not, just keep watching and following, and we will see you next time. This was a lot of fun. Pound Town.